Hello, everybody. It's Kxo Radio AM 1230, and we're here once again with Mickey Dale. And today's our Thanksgiving show and our wrap-up show, and we're going to talk about high school football. Now, Mickey, why don't you kick it off for us?
Okay, we'll do it. We've started this a few months ago, as you know, Kurt, and we've enjoyed doing these little wrap-ups after every weekend. And it came down to two teams this week, Calipatria and Central. One had much happiness, the other a bittersweet loss. So we'll tell you a little bit about those. The Calipatria Hornets, officially congratulations to them for picking up their first Division 5 AA San Diego CIF football title with a 44-25 victory over Coastal Academy of Oceanside last Thursday. And then the Central Spartans, on the other hand, would come back to tie a game with the last minute and a half to go of regulation, but unfortunately lost in overtime, 30-23 to San Pasqual of Escondido. So it was a bittersweet weekend, but first to the winners, the happy team from Calipatria under head coach Tony Leon, and the squad that had interceptions early in the game that helped put the Hornets up early, and they never trailed. It would be a interception right off the back, a pick six by Caleb Spence on the first stingray pass from scrimmage that he would take 41 yards into the end zone and put the Hornets up early in that. And as I mentioned, they did not trail throughout the game. Second interception by Oscar Lopez would set up a 3-yard touchdown by the quarterback. Dominic Hawk has just been unreal this year. He would score 4 touchdowns of the game, that 3-yarder to start it. He had other scores of 8, 20, and 6, and then also had 3 2-point conversions to boot on that. So an outstanding game in his final one as a Hornet for the senior Dominic Hawk, and 30 touchdowns this season rushing, and he's just been amazing, and it's been fun to watch and to tell you about. That also 188 points that he has scored this year. That puts him ranked number 14 in the state of California in high school. So job well done by Dominic. Senior Darren Pollard Jr. scored from 17 yards out for the other Hornets score. And as we mentioned, this was the first time that the Hornets had won a championship. First time they were in a championship game since 1991. And the Hornets finish up 9-2. That's their first winning season since 2016. So a great job by Tony Leon and his team at Calipatria, and really look forward to seeing what they do in the future too. We've watched them progress the last couple of years, and congratulations to all the players and coaches and students and fans of the Calipatria Hornets. Meanwhile, in Division 3, the top-seeded Central Spartans lost a heartbreaker in overtime to San Pasqual of Escondido, 30-23 in the semifinal round. The game was a seesaw affair that had 6 lead changes in it. Central rebounded after a 95-yard opening kickoff return by Marcos Rocha led to a 2-yard touchdown run, and that put San Pasqual up within the first 2 minutes of the ball game. But then a fumble recovery by Isaiah Gary and a 33-yard field goal by Malachi Rodriguez gave the Spartans a 10-7 lead early in the second quarter. San Pasqual touchdown put the Golden Eagles up 13-10 at the half. But Central quarterback Luis Jimenez hit Emiliano Morales for a 60-yard touchdown on the second play from scrimmage in the third quarter. And that put the Spartans back up 16-13. But it was short-lived as the Golden Eagles got a field goal to tie it up 16-16 after 3 quarters. After San Pasqual then retook the lead 23-16, Joshua Garcia turned a screen pass from Jimenez into a 71-yard touchdown with less than 2 minutes in regulation to send the game into overtime, tied 23-23. But the Golden Eagles scored on their opening play of overtime on a 25-yard pass from Robert Renteria to freshman Jared Brecht to put San Pasqual up 30-23, and then an interception caught by the Golden Eagles on the first play from scrimmage in overtime sealed the victory for the Escondido-based squad, who will now face last year's Division I champion, Augustin, in the Division III title on Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. David Pena's Spartans would finish up the season with an 8-4 record. You know, next season, there's a lot to look forward to with Imperial too, Kurt, as you've been following them. A few players will be lost on graduation, but a whole host of Tigers that are coming back. from a 9-2 season. So a few thoughts on that. Head coach David Shaw has put together a fantastic team this year that would finish up 9-2 and second in the Imperial Valley League. And we also want to congratulate the newly awarded Southeastern Conference Player of the Month, J.J. Jimenez, who scored 3 rushing touchdowns on the season and led the team with 91 tackles and an interception as well for the Tiger defense. Other players that will be missed from being able to call their names out this year on the current roster, but I'm sure George Grijalva and I will be talking about them in years to come, would include quarterback Jaden Ayala. He had 1,663 yards passing this season, 28 touchdowns thrown, along with 377 yards rushing, and another 3 scores as well there. Isaiah Perez, 3 receiving touchdowns this year. The blocking was shored up by Max Alvarez, who's been a starter for 3 years with the Tigers, and also one of the team captains. Darian Romo, 88 tackles in his senior season. Danny Escobar, 79 tackles, and he was a key on offensive plays coming in as a blocking back in blocking situations. Bo Zinn leading the team with 3 interceptions and had several great kickoff returns to put the Tigers in good field position. A.J. Arispe, a defensive leader, and scored 2 touchdowns on fumble recoveries. I'm not sure we've ever had a defensive player do that in Imperial High School history. And Brandon Felix, he was solid in the defensive secondary throughout the season. Had a couple interceptions and a 26-yard reception on offense late in the season. Those are names we've been saying for the last 2 or 3 years, and we're going to miss seeing them and talking about them, but there's a lot of players that are coming back. They include both the leading rushers on the team, including 1,000-yard rusher Darren Wesso. He had 7 games where he gained over 100 yards rushing in them. He'll be back. Rashad Robinson only played 6 games this year, but gained 100 yards or more in all but one of them and had 98 in that one. So the backfield is set there. And freshman backup at quarterbacks, Antonio Urania looks solid in the backup role to Ayala. He should be starting at quarterback next year. So the backfield is set for the Tigers in 2025. And almost all the top receivers are back, including Mario Gaxiola, Gio Robles, Trey Reese, Anthony Hillum Jr., and to add with Wesso coming back as well. And then much of the offensive line is back, including Jordan Malik, Levi Mencher, who was also solid on defense as well, and then started several games toward the end of the season on offense. Johnny Carrillo and Ezra Fagula. It looks like it's going to be a high-scoring offense once again for this Tiger team, and it's something we're certainly going to be looking forward to next year.
Well, Mickey, as you should. And, for a lot of people out there, I think we should all be very proud of Imperial Valley football for 2024. Most of the teams got bumped up in divisions when they went into the playoffs. And the reason
still played very well. When you look at Imperial was bumped up into division number 2, had to go on the road, but lost by just 2 points. The Brawley Wildcats, who won the IVL, they bumped them up into division 1. They had a road game and lost by 3 points or 1 point, I think, in that one, if I remember right. And then Central won their first game in the playoffs, and Hopeville looked really good, playing against the Division I defending champion. The Calexico Bulldogs played well on the road. Vincent Memorial had to go on the road, and they played well. So, the Valley schools all did very well, and we all should be proud of how they did.
Well, and for years people had complained about playoff seeding, and a lot of people said it was political. And this year they went to analytics, and they let the computers decide which teams would be playing which teams and which divisions, and the parity was unbelievable. I mean, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, the teams that are all in the championship games all had tough games to play. They played them close, and those championship games in the other divisions, the one, like I said, with Calipatria is completed, but the others are all in action this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what those final scores come out.
Well, it is. And, Mickey, we want to thank you and George Grijalva for doing a great job in the work that you put in towards Imperial football. And, Carol Buckley, he's the puppet master. He makes this all work for us.
Right. Yeah. We appreciate he and Gene and you helping us out with scores during our games. We couldn't do it without that. I really enjoyed having those. And then to have Gabe Lamoose working the buttons back in the studio made our job easier with that. And we just hope the people that were listening in enjoyed what we were bringing to them.
I think they did, Mickey. And, let's call this season a wrap. And let's hope we can all come back and do it again in
Okay, and
2025.
thanks for everybody for tuning in to our wrap-up shows, and I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. We'll be in Oregon, so we're going to enjoy it with our son Tommy and his wife Rachel, and Kara, Noah, and William, and Josiah. We're all together, and Maple the dog, and so yeah, we're all together for Thanksgiving in Oregon, and so we're looking forward to enjoying it.
Okay. You take care, Mickey.
Okay, thanks, you too.